weeks. If I even looked at next week and the 2 weeks, I won't get out of bed. It's so overwhelming. But it's like what has to happen today, and I just tackle that. And I know that those other 4 things can happen tomorrow or the next day. So.
Welcome to the Connect Podcast, a podcast by the Holdridge Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm very excited for today's episode. As you can see, I've got a special guest. But before we hop in, I want to talk about our community calendar just really quickly. We've got a ton going on this week. 16th of September, we've got the Houseplant Propagation. That's a new event by CCC, so make sure you check that out. The 17th, we've got Level Up Your Work with AI. That's put on by me. So if you're interested in artificial intelligence or even just learning about that, then make sure you attend that. And also on the 17th, New Life Church in Holdridge is holding an informational meeting. So make sure you attend that as well. On the 18th, we've got 3D needle felting. It's also a new class by CCC. And on the 19th, we've got a free bounce event sponsored by the New Life Church. So for any more information on any of that stuff going on, make sure you head over to holdridgechamber.com and look at our events calendar. But today we are joined by Erin Sandy from the 308 Boutique. How are you today, Erin?
I'm well, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyone who's from Holdridge or really just from this community knows that the 308 is a big name. Not only are they big here, but they've got stores in Elkhorn
and
in Kearney. And so just a really big, I was just telling Erin the other day that my wife and I were driving by the store in Kearney, and my wife didn't even realize it wasn't a big franchise. So really good job with everything you do. Yeah. We're going to get into some questions today, but as always, we've got a local snack here. This week, we've got Jimmy John's hummus and pita chips. So if you haven't tried some of their new hummus and pita chips, please do. I will grab some periodically throughout the episode because
it's such a good alternative to the chips.
I absolutely love
it.
And it goes well with their sandwiches, which you wouldn't think it does, but it does. It goes well. So
yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy John's, for the snack today. Erin, so before we dive into some really deep questions, the first question I have is, how did you get to where you are? Can you tell me a little bit about, your journey to?
Oh gosh, how much time do we have? Just
as much as you need.
I'm old, Adam. Okay, so long story short, I started. I'm born and raised just 30 miles up the road, so from Amherst originally. My grandparents had a restaurant here in Holdridge actually for 40 years.
Oh, really?
So I kind of grew up here. I worked at the restaurant from 13 to 17. Anyway, did the whole college at Doane, and then I went to San Diego. I've been in from anywhere from IT, moved back to design and construction, to ethanol, to Ag West commodity brokerage manager, to then I found myself in retail. Opened a boutique 10 years ago in Holdridge, and I snowballed from there. I guess I never would have imagined we're in 3 different places and 3 different locations and online presence and all that.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And we talked a little bit about your other stores. How long have those other stores been open?
So funny you asked. This weekend we celebrate Kearney 1 year.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
So
congratulations.
Mid-August, yep. So first birthday party is kicking off there this Friday, Saturday. And then next month we celebrate 5 years in Elkhorn, which is wild. We opened right before COVID down there. I don't recommend that, but we made it. So here we are.
You know what? Tell me a little bit about that. How was that navigating? It's a global pandemic. How was it continuing business?
It was awful. Yeah. I feel like everyone could say that, right? Most, some thrive, right?
Sure.
It was so hard because nobody had a reason to buy clothes. They weren't going anywhere, right? Yeah. So we were sitting with these store fulls, right? At graduation time and all of our big spring season, and it was awful, but I had some really, really good mentorship through it and a great team, and we just got lean and mean, and we got really creative. So creative that we got a call from the Nebraska Department of Revenue one time because we were doing raffles.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't realize that they had to have something, otherwise it was gambling. So we were tearing through raffles and tickets and all the things and doing lives. And then he called and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a good.
And so we just gave him a little earring and we kept going. So
it's a good way to
you just
find
had
out
to get creative.
Yeah. It's a good way to find out you're doing something the right way.
Somebody was jealous that I thought of it first, I think.
That's right. No, that's great. Well, you mentioned your team. I imagine during that time it was hard to not only continue the business, but to continue to motivate your team and staff.
Yeah.
Even during COVID and outside of COVID, what's something you think you What's something you recommend to help motivate and continue your team?
So ours, with our 3 different locations now, like I just put out, ours is all about competition. Like I'm again, like, I know they're not the owners, so, trying to incentivize them. So we just do competitions throughout all the time. So I just kicked off one. They do one where sometimes we do like biggest ticket of the week. So they're constantly taking a picture of the receipts if they sold a bunch of stuff.
Good.
Yeah. So, and then somebody one-ups them, they send a picture receipt. So it's kind of, camaraderie. Another one, just, we're trying to like maybe raise our average transaction value for the month, so every week, whatever location wins, then all that location gets a free sweater, or just keep them going and keep the team communicating.
Yeah,
so.
almost like gamifying it.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Your cornerstone was here in Holdridge. That's your first store. What motivates you to choose Holdridge as a location for your business? Obviously, you were from here, but
so yeah, kind of. So when I moved back from California, I swore I'd never move home and never marry a farmer, and I did both. I'm not moving the farmer. So I just knew I was planted here, and we were raising our family here, and we built a home, and I love to shop as well, and we were going to these other small town boutiques 10 years ago, and we kept thinking like, why are we going? Like, we don't have anything within an hour of us, or Kearney, but. So we just decided, I think we should try it here. There was enough young professionals at that time, and it just felt like we should try this. So we did.
Thank goodness you did.
No clue what we were doing, but we did.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I have a question here about engaging local customers and creating a memorable shopping experience. And I could ask you, but really what I want to know is explain to the viewers that don't see every week your lives. They're super fast paced. They're fun.
So that's something that came obviously out of COVID. I mean, we pushed harder than I had tried it a few years before, and it didn't really work. Right. So we got back into it, obviously that winter after COVID, right? So it's about consistency. So I mean, it's hard. It is not for the faint of heart to be twice again on top of everything else going on. That like last night I was in a volleyball game in Aurora, and the minute it was over, I zoomed home and I was there, got ready for an 8 o'clock live, 8 p.m. at my house. So consistency. That my girl again, we're so busy. Like you can't. Most people cannot walk into a storefront in normal hours. So online. So just showing up every day, making it fun. And we're drinking wine sometimes. We're always giving away like. It's just a way for them to still hang out with us if they can't come to the store and see all the product. And again, somebody turns around, I'll tell you, this doesn't fit the way this, size up, size down. So I'm able to tell them all that, which a website doesn't even do. So I think it's huge information and gives them all the decision, like the information to make a good decision on buying. So and it's just, like I said, it's a way to really brand, from in-store experience with us and fun and the environment to take it online and have them feel that experience. So
that's really fun. Yeah. I jumped on the other day and there was some.
Did you buy anything?
No, I did not. Not this time. No, I think there was a dog on. Was that?
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing. It's at my house. So I think people just love seeing a little vision into Erin's home, or my life. I mean, people are coming home from practice. Somebody's maybe running through. They know Asher very well. Our Lulu, I mean, they got to go through we had 10 puppies this spring. That's amazing. Everybody gets a little bit of insight.
That's so cool. And it's laid back. It's not like it's nothing like a shopping experience you would expect. No, it's very much like
hangout. I want it to be a hangout.
That's amazing. So where did that, obviously that's a really good idea. Where did that come from? I mean, COVID was happening. Was that something you just came up with on your own?
No. So Comment Sold was the major engine behind that. And again, they've been in business. They've been doing it for several years before. I kind of tried it at the beginning, but just like the market, the buyer wasn't ready, or my buyer wasn't ready. Yeah. So then through COVID and all the online, I mean, everybody got real familiar real quick. So, I can't take advantage, but I just said, I jumped first, I feel, around in this area first, that I knew that was going live in that platform. Yeah. It was super clumsy at the beginning. I was so glad that people stayed. Now, we're also experiencing some woes and some pains right now because we had our Comment Sold chopped off our legs to communicate with our point of sale in our stores. So it's been a painful summer. We're onto a new app, and it's again they're year one. I mean, they're just in development. So we have versus 10 years fully developed. So now I got to get my girls over to there. It's a little different. Change is hard, but we're trying. So
that's interesting you say that. I used to work with companies that would use, it was pre-AI, but it was sort of AI, and they would use Comment Sold or something like that just to grab a keyword, and then they would use that to communicate with their system. have you guys experimented with anything like that? Any AI really in general?
Yes, some. Honestly, I don't have a ton of time to really delve into it, but we do use, the main piece we use it right now is our website descriptions. So it's brilliant. Like type in, start typing your description of this sweater. You need the specific colors, you need those keywords, and voila.
That's amazing. No, that's great.
I mean, it's amazing.
You mentioned you got a full house, pets and kids and husband, and then running the 3 businesses. How do you balance all of that?
Ooh, it's hard. I feel like any business owner would say that. It's super hard. And at times I don't do a great job of it, but I just feel, I get asked that a lot of how do you do it all? And it's like, I have an amazing calendar, I have an amazing support team, an amazing husband, supportive. I mean, that it takes a team, of course, but like for me personally, it's just like what has to happen today. Because if I even looked at next week and the 2 weeks, I won't get out of bed. Like it's so overwhelming. But it's like what has to happen today, and I just tackle that, and I know that those other 4 things can happen tomorrow or the next day. So
no, that's great.
I think it's what's kept my sanity a little bit. You just can't. Otherwise, you get too overwhelmed.
Yes. So kind of shifting, running a business like that for 10 years, there's got to be plenty hurdles and challenges. I mean, obviously COVID was one of them, but when you face those challenges, do you have an opportunity or a specific situation where you were able to turn those into an opportunity of growth? I guess the comment sold.
Comment sold was probably the most pivotal in our career, I guess, as far as that grew our online 40%.
Wow.
So that truly, our online that goes, pulls first out of Holdridge inventory. So it's kind of the hub, the main shipping. So it basically made almost like it was like a third, now like 4th location goes out the back door, but throughout the year. So that huge. And then, we're in another one. Like it doesn't feel good, right? I mean, economy. I mean, you've got 8% interest rates and, election year, all of it. Nothing feels really good.
Yeah.
So people aren't wanting, when groceries, we're all paying additional $11,000 per household.
Yeah.
I mean, that $11,000 is probably my outfit budget for a lot of people, so it's not fun right now. But I think you just, like I said, you've got to just really know your business and your girl. I mean, just put your head to keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and God will bless it. He'll take care of it,
Absolutely.
At the end, it's hard to trust, but you just know it will work out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things you and I've spoken about a few times is how you view, and I really love your perspective on it, but how you view your specific chamber membership in relation to the community.
Yeah.
And I'd love if you just dove into that a little bit so that the community can hear some of that.
I don't even think it should be a question for your local, if you're a local business in a town, like no matter where you are. I mean, the chambers are put here to bring us together, to make us bigger on whatever we're doing. And especially we don't have much retail left here in Holdridge. So what we can do to drive traffic to our town, Iron Horse, just all the festivals, the quarterly things, again, consistency, but make us bigger. Yeah. I think there's no question, because this town is the reason I'm here for 10 years and could expand and do more things. So it's the tiniest little sacrifice to be a part of a bigger picture. So I would, there's no question. Somebody should be a part.
Yeah, no, I love that. You talk about, so you've been here for 10 years. What does the future look like? Like what's in it for the future of the 308?
That's a great question. With my number 1 right-handed girl getting diagnosed with cancer this last summer, it's kind of changed things. I guess just perception and reality. What matters, right?
Yeah.
So we've pulled back a little bit, and I think it's truly just taking care of what we have and making it even better, and just growing each of those locations and online and things. Because we don't know what tomorrow holds. And we're spread thin enough for our team that we have. So I think it's just making even better what we have now.
Yeah, sharpening those swords. Yes, no, I love that. One thing I love to end every episode with is just one solid single piece of business advice. So do you think you have anything you could bless us with today? I
would say the biggest key that I feel like I've done well in is just authenticity. And, again, if you watch our lives, you see Hot Mess Express. Like, there is no holding back what happens and whatever. So I just think if you can be, someone can be so real. Don't put it, no one's perfect. We all have our stuff. Like, it's different, but we all have our stuff. Yeah. So everyone's struggling at different times, and just to love on people. Like I tell my girls too, because I can't be everywhere, but like, I want to hang out. Like I have so many girls that just come in, don't need to buy a thing that day, but we have a glass of wine in the back, or they just need a hug. They need somebody to pray for them, or whatever it might be. So I think it's just truly, there's so much hurt that, to be that escape and be that where women can come in and, if and when they need something, hopefully they'll think of us. But I just think it's being real and loving on people and blessing them. So
that's amazing.
My grandma, which she was from Holdridge, she had the Village restaurant, and I've tried to live it out. You are blessed to be a blessing is her like mantra. I mean, we had it on some bracelets for a while, but it's so true. Like if you're blessed, like you're blessed to be a blessing to others. So like, don't forget that and get greedy along the way,
That's amazing. That's amazing advice.
Yeah.
Erin, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
If you guys have any questions, let us know. Make sure you guys join Erin over at the 308 if you are in town and looking for your next boutique. Great. It's great.
Fall outfits.
That's right. Join us next time.